another realization that I had today. I always say that I'm a former, that's such a hard word to say, that I'm a former people pleaser, when in reality, I'm just now in the stage of being aware of the fact that I was a former people pleaser. But I'm still catching myself doing it because I have been conditioned to do it for so many years. And here's an example. So there are things that a certain someone does when they have my children that I have addressed and addressed and addressed until I am literally blue in the face, right? Just certain boundaries that I have set up. Okay, nothing crazy, but every time they are around this individual, that boundary of mine gets completely ignored, and they just do it anyways, right? And I almost think sometimes now that it's just on purpose, just because they can get away with it. And my husband is very good about standing up for them and addressing the fact that I'm letting it slide. But I tend to say, well, weighing the how bad is it scale, it's like, well, is it really worth blowing up about it, right? And I always submit and forget about my boundaries and just let it slide yet again for the sake of not having another argument about the same thing. And then every time that happens, this certain individual withdraws, and the only people that get punished over it is the kids, right? Because then they don't get to go there or whatever. But at some point, it needs to be addressed and stuck to. Almost like raising kids. If you let a rule slide, they're going to just, forever after that, this rule doesn't exist anymore because it's gone. Because you let it slide. And I am finding that more and more times, more often than not, that whenever you sacrifice your boundaries, they eventually just get forgotten about and no one cares about them anymore, except for internally you're pissed off. So what I'm having to learn and go through again and again and again, which is, this is the part of the whole, like, changing what you tolerate or setting boundaries for yourself, is to not let them slide and not go back on, because the blow up that would happen from it is just not worth it. It is worth it, because eventually people will respect your boundaries. And that's where I'm at, is trying to reinforce those, because ultimately at the end of the day, they're my kids. I don't have to put up with it. And if you want a relationship with my kids, then this is how I'm raising them. Like, you had your chance, now it's my turn. They're my kids. So don't sacrifice just for the sake of not having a confrontational argument, because you're the one going through changing yourself. You can't expect everybody else to change also. So at some point they just have to accept the fact that you did, and they have to take you seriously. And at some points it might get uncomfortable, and at some points there might be conflict, but at the end of the day, your soul is the one that's going to feel better about it, even though while it's going on, it's going to drive you absolutely crazy. So let this be my famous last words. Get off the merry-go-round. Okay?